The January 30th, 2024 meeting of the Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission will now come to order. First item on the agenda is a review and approval of the November 21st, 2023 minutes. Everybody take a moment to review the minutes and see if they seem correct or if you feel there need to be any changes made to them.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
There's a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, reports. Michelle?
Okay, I have just a couple items to bring you up to speed on. Equine Meadows is still waiting on their stormwater management approval on the Equine Meadows development. They're in the process of completing the off-site easements for the off-site for the off-site storm drain. Maverick 1, we are completing the decommissioning plan tonight, and we are working on stormwater easements and a decommission declaration with the attorney. That should be done probably next week. Premier Dental, I haven't seen anything on, but they're still going through review for the addition to the rear of their building. Patapsco, we're waiting to receive a plan, as you requested, with more grading. That's
Right.
with more detailed grading. The comp plan, of course, we're tonight going to approve the 5-year review, and then we're going to need to amend the plan with the water and sewer new maps and the tier maps for that. Patriots Overlook, Alex and I had a pre-submittal meeting this week with them on their proposed 36 lots. We discussed some concerns. They show a use in common with 6 lots, which I did stress that we were not in favor of. And some of the lots' acreage was under the R 20,000 or half-acre zoning. And there has been no movement on the Lippy property. We're really at a wait for Mr. Hill's engineers to see where they're going to go next, as far as just State Highway or present something different. So that's all I have for you guys.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Alex?
Good evening, Council, Commission, excuse me. The water situation in the town is stabilizing. As you know, we've had quite a bit of water and rain and snow and other things. So we're looking much, much better. We're just hoping that we can make it through February with some additional precipitation. And then we'll look at coming off restrictions. The town is running well. We made it through our first multi-snow event for the day. That went well. The staff did very well. Over 18 hours worth of work, and the roads were clear. Had to come back in the next morning, do some resalting, but all went well. As Michelle alluded to, we are in internal prepping for the numerous developments, or the several developments that are coming into plan. We are looking at our sewer capabilities up along the Park Avenue corridor. And we are also looking and planning for future infrastructure out that way that is not there already. So a lot going on from that perspective. I'll just fill in for Councilman Cuneo. The council had regular business meeting. They voted unanimously to move meetings from 7:30 to 7. That was kind of the big item on the agenda. And we have, for the town and for the mayor and council, we've moved into budget season. So over the next several months, we'll be developing the budget, water and sewer rates, and all the associated pieces with that.
Thank you, Alex. Andrew?
Yes, sir.
How are we this evening?
Well, and you?
Well, thank you. What do you have from the county for us?
Just a couple items. Number one, the Bureau of Comprehensive Planning is accepting applications for the 2024 Water and Sewer Amendment Cycle. Staff briefed the Board of County Commissioners on the Transportation Master Plan a couple days ago. Also, the county will be reaching out to the municipalities. More details will be coming in the near future, the county will be reaching out to the municipalities. This is regarding the housing study. More information will be coming out shortly. If you have any questions, to get in contact with my colleague Tiffany Fawcett over at the county if you are interested in being involved in that study. The economic development and land use study, that has been completed, that was shared with the Board of County Commissioners, the findings on December 21st of last year. And also, the only other item I have is about the planning annual report, the 2023 planning annual report, and that is on the agenda. So thank you for getting that done quick, so we can get that in the queue to be bundled up with all the other 8 municipalities in the county to be sent to Maryland Department of Planning by July 1st. So thank you all. I know you are always prompt to get that complete, so.
Well, Michelle wouldn't let us have it any other way.
But that is all I have, and thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the decommissioning plan approval for Maverick One Solar.
And at this time, I didn't feel that we needed to have them here. Mr. Shields is here because he was in town for another meeting, if you have any questions. Otherwise, I had sent it out to everybody. We made the changes as requested. And I feel it's pretty complete.
Michelle, and I have a question,
Okay?
and I apologize that I didn't bring this to you before the meeting to look into it. Any damage that, as they're building this, will be handled in the PWA, any damage to like Grafton Street?
We actually are trying to set up a meeting for next week with our attorney, Alex, myself, and their side, so that we can set up times of
Okay.
entrance, ways of delivery, infrastructure damage, things of that nature.
Well, looking at this is pretty detailed. Should we not have something about town roads and damage on the way out in this agreement? And again, I apologize for doing it kind of at the 11th hour here, but, you know, it's kind of, this is the first one we've done of a decommissioning plan, and, you know, we're looking 20 years down the road. If we're concerned about them tearing things up going back there, we ought to be concerned about them tearing things up coming out. And I don't know if it's appropriate to put it in here or not, I'm just,
What are
So,
you- Go ahead, what are your thoughts?
so this was kind of my fault.
Oh, good.
Hey, own up to it, right?
Right.
And this was really more about, when sunset sets on that facility, that we're not left with an eyesore there. So, I mean, I was not looking at it for the construction side of it. My belief is that would be handled by a general public works permit.
Yeah.
Now, should there be something in here about that for when it's decommissioned? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, perhaps it's just subject to another public works permit.
So
I mean,
my thoughts are that the Public Works Agreement initially going in is going to cover everything for setup. And then we are holding a bond for decommissioning. So maybe possibly within that bond paperwork or that agreement, we could put something in there that's for additional infrastructure. Like we have a certain amount already that is for, if he doesn't take it apart and get rid of it, we can.
Right.
right.
So I'd have to ask Tom, but I would think maybe that's where it would go.
okay.
Yeah, as long as we have a security held, I think we're okay.
Yeah. Right. But we were holding security just for the decommissioning of the site
No,
itself.
understood.
So maybe we need to add security for.
The security has to be approved by us, so we can cover it.
That's fine, I just, it kind of occurred to me that
Yeah, I thought about the same thing.
we're worried about the construction traffic going in, we ought to be worried about it going
I
out.
thought about that, and
And
my,
again-
my thought was, as Bob was saying, I thought it was going to get handled by another public works agreement. And then I thought as a secondary, we have that security sitting there. Are they going to post the security based on the 20-year
Yeah,
inflated
John, you-
rate?
do you have more information on that to explain how the security amount was?
Well, I see, I mean, they've got a unit cost in there, but they've got the current cost of what it's going to, what it cost to do it now, and then they've got the extrapolated rate based on some level of inflation at 20 years. So I'm just curious which security is getting posted, the 20-year security or the current security? Because they're telling you what it's going to cost to do it if they did it today. And then they give you the cost that they extrapolate 25 years out. So they've got a demo and decommissioning cost of $186,167 and change.
No, the security is the 342.
Okay,
Yes.
yes, that's, I wanted to make sure that we
Yes,
were
I'm sorry
holding
about
that amount.
He's correct. That's correct.
Yeah,
I have no problem with addressing the removal, protecting the infrastructure as we know it today. I can't help, we've done pretty good at holding the town to its current configuration for a long time. We're gonna, in that, we're gonna assume that, the configuration stays relatively the same.
Correct, because the
So-
master plan really doesn't call for
Right.
major road
So I
out
think
there.
my only concern is how to monetize it. Because no matter what you do, you probably are gonna be wrong, or you're gonna so far overcharge that it becomes unreasonable, and it becomes a hitch in the whole process. If the commission would agree, I think we will ask our attorney, Mr. McCarron, if the PWA agreement can be a single agreement for both the commissioning and construction and to cover the decommissioning in some sort.
Okay. How about if we were to make a motion to approve this? Let's see, how can we word this? We'll approve it unless Tom says that we have to address it in this document, in which case it would come back to us and we would address it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was going to suggest we just add a simple 5.5 that basically just states that prior to beginning decommissioning, a public works agreement must be obtained from the town.
I think,
just add it to the, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's section.
So we can give them approval
Right, I'm trying, yeah.
with
Yeah.
that added to it.
Right.
Subject
I
to
think
that.
that actually might be better because
Okay.
at that time, then you'll have a more realistic understanding of what you need to
Right.
do and what has to.
That
get
works for
done.
me.
Yeah, good.
Great.
I'm just watching out for the people in Grafton Street.
Oh, I understand. No, I had the same concern. So, any other questions, anybody on the board?
No, good solution.
No. Yeah, I think, well, being no additional questions, do we have a motion regarding approval of the decommissioning plan?
I make motion to approve the document as written, inclusive of the amendment for inclusion of 5.5 Public Works Agreement.
We have a motion from Bob to approve with conditions. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Chris will second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. This plan is approved. Okay. Mhm. Next item on the agenda is the review and approval of the annual plan. Michelle provided everybody with copies of this via email. I think there's also copies sitting here on the desk.
That's this
This is the multi-page one, yeah. Anything that you need to add to this, Michelle?
Just this year will be a little different in that when we submit the annual plan to the county to be incorporated with their plans for the Maryland Department of Planning, it will also be inclusive of our 5-year cycle review with all attachments that are needed for this
Yeah.
plan also.
Yeah, this was just a summary of what came through the town and before us this past year.
Yeah, I gave you a sample of the, I guess the little, what am I trying to say? The template that they gave us to use. It used to be done in letter form to the Department of Planning, and now it's just a simple summary based on this template.
Looks pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions or concerns about it? I looked at it, it looked fine.
See anything?
I'll make a motion, we approve the annual plan review.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those all those in support signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then piggybacking into that, we have the review and approval of the 5-year mid-cycle report and the 5-year report. Michelle, anything you need to add to this?
We did hire a consultant to take care of writing this for us. She couldn't be here this evening due to being ill. But if you had any questions, we can postpone that and get back to her, but I think it was pretty,
It looked pretty straightforward to me. Does anybody have any questions or concerns regarding the report?
I'll make a motion, we approve the comprehensive 5-year report as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the 5-year comprehensive plan review and report. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Plan is approved. Any other business that needs to come before us before we adjourn the meeting?
well, we had met in a work session and started with the business local and the business general, and I will get back to that. I got a little swamped with the Maverick and all the
Yeah.
legal documents, and the annual plan and the 5 years. So we'll get back to that probably starting next month. I'll get some stuff out to you.
Okay. Okay. Being there's no other business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a second?
A second?
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Meeting's adjourned.